Hello, world. Welcome to WFHR's Rapid Support, proudly brought to you by Aquatic Septic for this July 31st, 2025. I have your host, James, here. We're joined by our great friend, Laura Huber, 4-H coordinator with UW Extension. Laura, really good to see you. Really good to have you in studio. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. We are in the middle of busy summer, and I can't believe it's coming to an end.
I was joking with Laura a little bit. I wasn't sure that she'd be in because how busy you guys are.
Yeah.
I just figured, we'll talk next month or something like that. Maybe when things settle a little bit. But it's go time for the 4-H, and that's a wonderful thing to be. That's a wonderful time to be a part, or a wonderful time to be a part of things, I imagine. I wanted to talk a little bit, if you don't mind. Tonight you have your 4-H swim night going on at the Aquatic Center. I love this event. I love swimming. I'm going to be honest. I like 4-H and I like swimming, so it's a win-win to me.
You bet. So, and I hate to go back all the time, but to the pandemic, so many of our young people, like our middle schoolers right now, they were in second, third grade during the pandemic. So sometimes we might look at something like a night celebrating 4-H at the Aquatic Center is just like a foolish bunch of silliness and fun. And while it can be that, it's actually a super important part of what
You're
4-H does.
Wow.
Because we need to make sure that our young people feel comfortable and safe with new people. They learn how to make friends. They can identify and meet with caring adults who can help them get through. And you know what? Sometimes the playground at school is the best place to do that. And maybe sometimes it's just the swimming pool for 4-H that's a great place to help make all of that happen. And it's a way to celebrate summer and just get out and have fun.
We've talked, you and I've talked about this with our friends at the Y about how important it is for kids to be more and more comfortable and understand water better and better, especially specifically this time of year. That part of it, I hope goes without saying, but just in case, I think that's another noteworthy thing about this event. That's great. Your point on this is so strong. I had not, of all the things I overthink in this world, this is not one of those ones I had when it comes to things that kids missed out on. I think it's one of those ones that as adults, we need to be more and more aware of going forward. And you're right. Nobody likes the C word. Nobody likes to talk about COVID or anything like that. But we experienced it. We got through it, and we need to learn from it. And so many of these things, we can only learn years removed, and having a chance to breathe and really take a look at these things with a wider lens. And looking at it from that perspective, we have not done nearly enough for those kids, that age that you're talking about specifically, that were in the COVID kids, and having more events is great for them. And they need that. They need that real one-on-one experience and running into kids that they don't go to school with. And so many of those things that we're still getting a lot of this stuff back. I think that's something that gets lost in the shuffle sometimes too.
Absolutely. And, with our overnight summer camps and our travel experiences and some of those kinds of things, I think sometimes we take for granted how educational experiences can be just stepping away from the normal. So what's it like to actually have to share a room with somebody else that you don't really know? That's something that happens at camp. It happens at our travel experiences like Discover Wisconsin. What's it like to have to be in charge of your own where I am at what time? Like all of the, what's it like to have to pack your own suitcase for camp or travel experiences? And so I think it's important for folks to understand, yes, 4-H is an educational program. And sometimes when we think about educational programs, we think about sit down, get your hands dirty, muck out the stall, or, decorate the cake or whatever it might be. And all of those things are. But sometimes the fun is the education as well, because we're learning how to, maybe it's how to make friends. Maybe it's learning how to manage conflict when two people aren't getting along so well. And how can we do that with a great result at the end where both parties can walk away feeling okay, right? And so I think one of the things that I appreciate about 4-H so much is that it's kind of like an all-encompassing education. I'm not just caring about the hard skills. I don't care if you know exactly how to hold that cake piping bag perfectly, right? I care also about how you react when your project doesn't look the way you wanted it to look. I care a lot about how you show respect and kindness to somebody who's trying to teach you. I care so much about giving you an opportunity to share the skills that you have with somebody else, right? So I don't know. It's just one of those things that I don't think people think about right away when they think about education. So
when we think about teaching anything, we don't really think about how important it is to learn to fail. And just to get yourself up off the ground and to pick yourself up after things don't go right. And there's so many of those opportunities that happen with this. And then there's so much else that there is no manual for. It's just things you learn as you grow up and you interact with people. All those organic moments and everything that you really can't, well, I'm going to have my child experience this. Well, some stuff you can't really plan for that just got to happen. There's a lot of that happens with these events, and it can really be fun for kids. As serious as I may be making it sound, it's all about fun and it's all a great time. And you get to go, not only that, but you get to check out the Aquatic Center a little bit, and especially for kids that haven't gotten to do that a lot or anything. So that's a really fun time.
You know, a few weeks ago, we were on this travel experience with middle schoolers called Discover Wisconsin. We got them all on a bus and we all headed over to eastern Wisconsin. We rented a county private lake. It's called Ashwaubenon. And I watched a young lady climb up the ladder for the high dive.
Cool.
And you could kind of physically see her shaking, and she walked back down the ladder. And then I watched her kind of pace back and forth at the base there. And later, I watched her go off the low dive, and then I watched her go off the high dive. And so nobody interfered with that process. But afterwards, I went up to her and I said, you know what? I want you to know how proud I am of you, because I saw your struggle. And I saw you get through that. And I think you did a phenomenal job working through that, right? And so those sorts of things can happen at the Aquatic Center with the slides and all of the things that they have there. And I want families to know that I am noticing, right? I am watching and I am celebrating those wins with children, because those wins need to be recognized, especially when I witness the fail first. And I say, you know what? I saw you didn't give up. That's perseverance. That is strength. That is bravery. That is so much that is going to help that young person succeed.
I second everything you said there, and I appreciate you sharing that story. I would like to also mention that I think it is just as valuable you taking the time to say that to her and giving her that moment. We need to do that more for young people as well. I'm not a believer in the everybody gets a trophy day kind of thing, because kids earn trophies already. They don't need to be handed one. They don't need one for no reason. Watch them. Watch what they're doing. They're going to accomplish something in that day that's like, hey, here's a big gold star. Here's an award. And note that. Make sure that they know how much that is an accomplishment. They're kids. They don't have the time perspective that we do of how much it means to get yourself up off the mat when you fail and that. Yeah. They're just in the middle of it. And sometimes it's a beautiful thing that they don't realize what they're accomplishing in some ways. But it's on us as adults to kind of note that and build up that confidence as much as help them realize, hey, you just did something really cool there. That's awesome. And thank you for sharing that.
That was really hard, and you did it, and that's amazing, right?
That's really cool.
For sure.
Our mateys, next week, Pirate Day Camp for youth in 4H grades with 45 youth incoming. I had to, Laura. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody right now. But I want to talk about Pirate Week.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you.
Or Pirate Day Camp, I should say.
This year, we've always let people know that everybody is welcome to our programs, whether they are members of our 4-H program or not. And I don't know, maybe it's the excitement over the thought of being able to talk like a pirate or something. But the programs we've had this summer have had a record number of non-4-H members coming. And it's something that I'm stupidly proud of. Can I tell you that? Because sometimes 4-H is seen as this like, oh, it's multi-generational. Like my parents were in it, my grandparents in it. Heck, my great-grandma started the club that I belong to or whatever else. But you know what? Anyone can join 4-H at any time, regardless of age, grade, all of those kinds of things. And so of our 45 youth coming to Pirate Camp, we have 5 of them that are not 4-H members. And it might seem silly, but I am so excited by that.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it means that something caught their eye and it caught their excitement, and they want to send their kids to pirate camp where they get to walk the plank. We're going to be at Northwood County Park. And so if you've ever been to Northwood County Park, you know that bridge over the river and you know how it bounces and shakes as you cross over.
Yeah.
So silly, but big adventure for some young kids.
Definitely. That's going to be cool. Being a part of that is awesome.
Yeah. And so like our programs also pull in other dynamics too. So the science pieces, the engineering pieces, the kids are going to be designing and testing pirate ships. It might be on a small scale, right? We're not actually going to be going and committing piracy on the Yellow River or anything like that.
Probably a good idea.
But we pull in the games. We pull in the activities that involve arts. They involve sciences. So our young people are learning so much without even realizing that they're learning. They think they're there for a really fun day, and they are, but they are getting these lessons that are going to come back and help them in the future, which I really think is a ton of fun. Like, I don't mean to be working through trickery, but that's kind of what it feels like sometimes.
Yes, 100%. And I love it. And I'll say this too. When I was a kid looking back on things, I loved it. I loved learning. And I think most kids do. This is a great way, a fun way of doing it too. That is going to be a great time. Now, are people able to still be a part of this? Are they able to still, or are you guys all locked up for it?
So I think for this one, we need to be locked down. Normally I would allow more people in, but we have rules in terms of like how many adults we have to have for kids. I had to go scrounging around for extra 4-H volunteers to come and help because we have so many. Our normal day camp would be 15 to 20 kids. We are more than double. And so I'm so excited to be welcoming some folks. But you know what? Next week, we are going to be at the Rapids Downtown Farmers Market on Thursday.
Cool.
So if you want to kind of get a taste of what 4-H hands-on learning is like, come and visit our, we'll have a booth where usually right next to the manager's tent at the farmer's market when we're there. So we will be there on the 7th. I think we're going to be there from 8 to 1. So stop on by. Kids of all ages are welcome at the booth. The 4-H program itself starts at kindergarten and goes through high school. But when you see us out and about in the community, come on by. Your 2-year-olds and your 3-year-olds and everybody are welcome. Those activities we set up are really all age appropriate, even if we do have to give those younger kids a little bit more adult help.
And you get a part of things now, and maybe you can be a part of next year's and some things like that.
For sure.
And even be ready for the August in the Central Wisconsin State Fair, one of the bigger events, I imagine, for the 4-H. You guys are going to be there this year.
Absolutely.
As usual.
I was going to say we're there every year, but because we have Trina serving through AmeriCorps with us this summer, we're really able to do more in terms of hands-on activities.
Cool.
So the fair is a great family activity, but I recognize that it's a really expensive endeavor for a lot of families to go to. Not only is there, the admission, but the food and the drinks and all of the kinds of stuff and the rides, like, wow, really expensive. So the Junior Fair building is where our headquarters is, and we're going to be offering free hands-on activities throughout the week.
That's so cool.
Anybody can participate, right? You don't have to be a 4-H member. And in addition to just the fun kind of activities, this year we've got 2 community service projects that we want to invite everybody to get involved in as well.
Can we talk about those a little bit? Because I'll let the audience know I have the notes here, and I was really excited to talk about these with you. I think this is such a cool idea to do with the kids.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Kids and adults, we welcome everybody to come on in.
Yes.
So if there's something that you're interested in, please sit on down with us. But the first one is the Never Forgotten Honor Flight, mission number 53, leaves in September. And talking with a few folks who have been able to experience the honor flight, mail call is a really important piece to them. It's a really cool part. So join us in the Junior Fair building, and you can make a card, you can write a letter, whatever you want to do. And we're going to get those up to Wausau so that our friends who get to go to Washington, D.C. and see the memorials that were created for them for the service that they put in, they're going to have kind of some cool letters and cards and things to start their experience off. So again, free of charge, come on down. and write a letter, make a card, whatever it is.
With both of these things we're going to talk about here, they are not only great things for the kids to do, and the people that are receiving them are going to be over to the moon, thankful and appreciative and all that. And hopefully that goes without saying. But I do like to note all of these things we've been talking about, especially these latter things that we're getting into, they are more and more experiences for kids to see adults asking them to do something for another adult, for oftentimes a stranger. And what is going to get them more likely to do that as an adult? These kind of actions, seeing their parents, seeing the people they look up to, seeing that they admire, going out of their way to help our veterans or going out of their way to help others in need. They are more likely when they become adults to do that by seeing us do it. Those brains are sponges. Let's fill them with some good. Let's fill them with some good activities and doing some good in our communities. And we raise more and more kids wanting to put into their community.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you thinking of this. It's an add-on. It's something that's above and beyond what you, like you do a lot with the 4-H. That's a great part. And then this next one, something I hadn't even thought of before. And I appreciate you even bringing attention to for people like me that hadn't thought about something like this, let alone what the kids are going to be making. That's a really cool idea.
Sure. So the Marshfield Clinic Health Systems volunteer services puts out like a list of things that they would really appreciate that can kind of help make patients' experiences better. And Wood County 4-H got this fantastic fabric donation of flannels. So we're gonna appreciate the donation that we received. We're gonna teach some basic sewing skills. We're gonna have sewing machines set up at the fair, my friends.
Wow!
And you can come in, learn some basic sewing skills with me, and make ice pack holders for patients at the hospital. And these bags, we've got fabric for everybody because they are not just for kids. They're in all of the departments. They use these ice pack holders. So I just think, why not, right? And I think about paying it forward, right? Wood County 4-H got a great donation. And rather than just using that for the well-being of our own program or whatever, let's pass it along. Yeah. Everybody who's coming, maybe they already know how to sew and they just need some downtime at the sewing machine.
Sure. Yeah.
By all means. Maybe they're kind of sewing curious. They've always kind of wondered and they don't know how. Well, sit down with me. I would love to work at the sewing machine with you. And it's always so cool to see how appreciative folks at the hospital are.
Yeah,
it feels a little homey.
I was just going to say, I think that a lot of us have been in those situations with a loved one or maybe yourself where, there's so many different wide variety of things they need these ice packs for. And you get that and you're sitting there and most hospitals, if not all the ones surrounding this area that I've been in all of them, are nice. They do a good job. They have great people there. They're well, lit up and things, but they still ain't home. They don't feel like there's nothing they can do for that. But these little things, you're right. They have that little homey feel to them. They make us feel a little more like we're a person and we're not just there to, checking the oil on the car or something. And that's nothing against the healthcare industry or nothing like that. It's just the way the system is and the way, it feels for all of us. I imagine for them as well. It just goes so much farther than I think we realize. Even I hadn't realized until I was reading the notes this morning and thinking about it and like, oh, that does go a long way. That really is a cool thing. And I didn't know about the paying it forward part. Great idea. That's a really cool idea.
Well, thanks. You know what? Like the 4-H pledge, we're pledging our heads, we're pledging our hearts, we're pledging our hands, and we're pledging our health, right, to the betterment of our selves, our community, our world, right? Like that's really what we're all about. And sometimes we just need to think intentionally, how do we make things happen? We can't just assume that kids are going to learn how to interact with others, how they can impact their world, how they can interact with local governments or even right? Like we need to think about how to teach these things to kids. And again, trying to make sure that we do it in a fun and approachable way.
Yeah. All of these things we've been talking about with 4-H, I can only imagine has encouraged a lot of people to want to learn more or even enroll their kids. And we got something, it's right around the corner enrollment. So a perfect time to start thinking about that.
The beginning of the school year, September, that is also the beginning of the 4-H year. So if you're curious and you want to learn more about 4-H, you can always reach out to me. our office is in the courthouse. So if you feel like stopping by someday, feel free. Stop on by and let's talk. Otherwise, you can call me. You can email me. You can check us out on social media. You can check us out on our website. Like, there's lots of ways to get a hold of us. So let me start with sharing my phone number. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm at 715-421-8439. Or you can email me at Laura, Laura, .Huber, that's H-U-B as in boy, E-R, at WISC, WISC.edu. And actually, I found that the social media pieces, our Facebook page and our Instagram page, have become really important. So,
Cool.
Check us out on those spaces as well.
And keep in mind, if you're driving around or something and you need to get that again, we'll get it to you. Reach out to us. You can also go to their website. We'll get that to you before we wrap up, because I did have one more thing I wanted to pick your brain about, Laura, if you don't mind a little bit. We've been covering this as a station, the budget and budget cuts and a lot of those things. And we understand that our nonprofits they've always been underfunded, but now more than ever in many ways. And we're trying to bring as much attention to that as we can. I know that you at 4-H, you guys have your calendar raffle that you do. And this is a big part of the fundraising that is done in keeping 4-H healthy and thriving. I wanted to touch on that a little bit.
So it's not only about keeping 4-H healthy and thriving, it's keeping it affordable for families.
Yes.
Because everything is getting so expensive. And I don't ever want families to have to decide between meals, mortgages, and all of those sorts of things, and letting their kids experience 4-H, right? So the calendar raffle program that we've got going on right now, it's got a really tiny window. Our tickets are on sale this August because our first drawing is September 2nd. The smallest prize is $100 and the largest prize is $300. And every single dollar that is, from the ticket sales is going directly into the education programs because all of the prize money was donated by some really generous people and businesses around Wood County.
Big shout out to them.
Absolutely. So the tickets are $10. If you win, your ticket goes right back into the drawing again, so there's chances to win more than one time.
It's crazy when people do that. I've never get used to that you could win and then get your ticket still back. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And so this program, it is funding camp. It is fun, like whether it's overnight summer camp or if it's day camps, it's funding our programs like Project Discovery Day and Creative Arts Day, day camps, travel experiences, scholarships to help families who can't afford to send their kids on those things. Usually I call them camperships, but people don't know what that means, right?
I do like that. That's a good term.
So it really is. All of these dollars are going directly into the programs that our kids are doing. No overhead. All education.
This is one of the bigger impacts you can make on the future when it comes to helping our kids and doing anything involving them. And just by getting that raffle ticket, you're able to know you're doing that.
You bet. So we have them on sale in the extension office at the courthouse, but they're also for sale throughout the community with Wood County 4-H volunteers and youth members.
Encourage you to find out more, get those tickets, and get your kids involved in 4-H, everybody. You can find out more by going to 4h.extension.wisc.edu. You can also find them on social media. Throw into your search bar, Wood County 4-H should pop right up for you. And again, Laura, you gave your contact information, so reach out to her that way. Really do appreciate all the effort, everything you and the team does at 4-H. Thank you so much for that, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for helping us spread the word.
We'll talk again real soon. And we'll talk with you real soon. Thank you for joining us, everybody. A big thank you to Crockett Septic for sponsoring another edition of WFHR's Rapids Report.